Ready when you aren't.
Changes in diet can often come with mood swings and changes in our emotions. It's called emotional eating. It is so common. Nutritionist Andrea Holwegner joins us this morning with more insight into this. And we were talking a little bit during the commercial break. You said this is by far the #1 thing that people come to you with.
Yeah, you know what? Years ago when I started as a dietitian 16 years ago, if someone would have said emotional stress eating and eating for other reasons other than knowledge about what to eat was going to be the biggest issue we'd face, I wouldn't have believed it. But certainly this is so common that people are either overeating or undereating in response to a lot of emotional stress.
Okay, let's start by focusing on the overeating aspect. What is it that triggers this, and why is it that we do sometimes tend to not be really conscious of just how much it is that we're taking in?
Sure, and you know, I think if you think about how you might eat if you were stressed or sad or mad or had any kind of uncomfortable emotion, oftentimes people want to stuff that emotion with food because it's uncomfortable to deal with. And so sometimes people will eat more or they'll choose different types of foods. Of course, when we're stressed and feeling awful, we'll tend to be looking for things that are sweet and savory and comfort foods, which are typically carbs that elevate mood.
So how can we combat this?
The biggest thing that we work with a lot of our clients struggling with emotional eating on is really trying to get them into their body a little bit more. And so we work on mindfulness. And the mindfulness aspect of eating is really going to be slowing the pace of eating down, really making sure when you're eating, you're not eating out of bags and boxes and containers, because of course you can imagine if we had a big bag of potato chips, and there's no end point but the end of a large jumbo bag, it's trouble for anyone, including dietitians. So putting it in a bowl, in a plate, slowing it down, eating it away from distraction, because of course if we're on our phones, if we're in front of the TV, we're driving, our brain and our stomachs cannot connect well.
Okay, some good insight there. We were talking a little bit too in terms of the mindfulness, making sure you're really tasting your food, being aware of what it is you're eating.
You bet. So really using the senses to start to try and appreciate and enjoy the taste and texture and sight and smell of food. Some people have such a terrible relationship with food that it's either being stuffed and eaten so quickly to just get it done. And really the more we can start to enjoy the flavor profile of food, the more satisfaction it always leads to.
On the flip side, some people often undereat when they're dealing with stress in their lives.
You bet, and we certainly see a lot of people in response to stress. They'll just go through their workday, and then of course a lot of our clients struggling with either disordered relationships with food, chronic dieting, or eating disorders, really trying to intuitively eat, which means respect and listen to hunger cues, just isn't appropriate at that phase. And so we do what's called more mechanical-based eating. And mechanical-based eating, if you're prone to undereating during stress, means you're not going to wait for hunger cues. You're probably not going to be living in your body as much to try and figure out if you're hungry or full. You're going to eat according to a plan, a schedule, eat more according to a clock to make sure that you'll get that food in throughout the day.
So you might actually be putting into your phone a certain alarm saying time now to have a snack.
Fantastic. Love it.
Time now to, maybe step away from your computer and take time to have a proper lunch.
Love it. Great idea. Okay. Anything you can do to kind of give yourself that prompt when your body's not cueing you, we can rely on those things. And the good news is the more you practice that, the more the body will start to be able to cue you appropriately. And hopefully by then, you won't be in a chronic state of stress for years at a time, and your body will be able to sort of start to bridge away to that more intuitive eating response that we're after.
All right, some really great information, Andrea. Thanks so much for coming in this morning. If you'd like more details on emotional eating, you can head to Andrea's website at www.healthstandnutrition.com.